guys, as you can see by my location, I'm working on breeding some more guys, so I have more than 6 to bring you with my NU team. And I've got a battle today against Mayko. I think he has some random numbers after his name too. But anyway, it's a pretty good battle. I found him on TPX, which is where I'm getting my battles now that Abra's Asylum has kicked the bucket. Fainted, as you might say, in the Pokemon nerd world. And since that went down, I, just for the funds, made my own little Zat. And let me adjust the camera here a little bit. And it's called Quilava's Den, after the coolest Pokemon. And so check it out, just 'cause I said so. And let's start the battle. So this is against Mayko, as I said, and I totally hacked the crap out of him last time we played, and I won. So he challenged me to rematch, and he's like, this time I'm gonna 6-0 you. I'm like, okay, you bring it. So he leads off with Persian, and what you do when they use Persian or Purugly or Ambipom is you switch to Ampharos so they get static, but it doesn't happen. And so I get some leftovers, and I'm gonna go for the Focus Blast as he U-turns and doesn't get static again, which annoys me because you'll see later in the game this thing is annoyingly fast. So if it was only he had 1/4 of his speed. So he goes into a Sand Slash, predicting the electric move, being that I'm Ampharos, which is exactly why I didn't go for the electric move. I was a little concerned when it said its name was Shadow. I'm like, ghost type Pokemon. What a bummer. But anyway, instead I don't miss Focus Blast, which is nice. And as you can see by the health going down, I have totally critted him because I have no special attack investment. Now that's good because Sand Slash is pretty much the boss of NU. Now he's going to get his lefties and get out of the red, and I'm going to get my lefties, and I'm going to have to switch out here because I'm as slow as physically possible, and I don't want an Earthquake, killing me when I don't have to. So I'm going to go into Pidgeot to, dodge the Earthquake, but he goes into Canada, which is Regice, which I guess because Regice is cold. So I'm going to U-turn, because why switch when you can switch and get damage? I'm going to go into Draft Rig because I think I can maybe, set up on it. But he's going to set up on me, which is not good. Because if you've known anything about Regice, its special defense is somewhat close to 9,000. And its physical defense is now going to be over 9,000 once it curses up as much as it wants it. So, that's bad. So I'm going to sub here, trying to, set up, and he just goes for an Avalanche so as to not let me do that. And my substitute fades, which is all not good and all. So I'm a lot concerned by this Regice, and even more so by the fact it's named Canada. If you lose to Canada, man, you've got some problems. So I'm going to just forego the whole subbing thing, because so far it has got me minus HP, and just go for a Calm Mind because he seems like he just wants to avalanche the crap out of me. So he does that, and it does only a little bit more than a sub would be, which is unfortunate because if it just did a little less, like say he didn't have a curse up, then I could sub and all that jazz. But sometimes life just doesn't work out. Especially right here when he goes for Avalanche and gets a crit. So now I can't even get a +2 special attack boost off to something that wants to attack its special side because its physical side can raise whenever it wants. That's not cool. So with unboosted special attacks and at full health, I'm pretty close to screwed here. So I'm going to go into Sand Slash. I'm going to set up Stealth Rocks because assuming I don't get swept here, I'm going to want those later. And that's a pretty big play actually, because he goes for another curse, so I'm still at full health. And I miss the Stone Edge, which is like, I am so getting screwed right now. But it's okay. because since I missed, Avalanche's power doesn't get doubled, and Sand Slash is, you know, a monstrous boss of defensively awesomeness, even though this one has no defense investment. So I'm gonna go for another Stone Edge because I really need to hurt him. And I'm talking to him now, I'm like, hey, you know what I just realized? Stone Edge has a high critical hit rate. And when you get a crit, the defense boosts no longer matter. And you might have noticed by the fact that he's down to red HP, that exact same thing that I kind of called just happened. Which is very nice. Now, I might have been able to live this if, you know, I hadn't just hurt him and doubled the power of his Avalanche. And so I clearly don't. But I just saved myself from getting swept. And at this low HP, if he switches out, he'll die to the Stealth Rocks that I conveniently placed earlier when he went for a second curse. But not wanting to risk him living and using a rest, I'm going to have to send out my most powerful special attacker here, which is Typhlosion, because it's super effective eruption. And he goes into Firefox, and I'm like, I'm assuming Flash Fire. And what do you know? It has Flash Fire. Which is lame, because Firefox is for Mac, and Macs suck. So I go into Lapras as he goes for Hypnosis. I'm like, oh snap. But luckily Hypnosis's accuracy is pretty suspect. As yeah, he was making fun of me for that Stone Edge miss. So I'm like, oh yeah, Hypnosis. Maybe you shouldn't use that if you don't want to miss. So he misses again. So I'm like, yes, Surf. That is fan-bloody-tastic. So I go for a Surf here, but I'm a little concerned because when he puts me to sleep, I have Heal Bell, but I can't use that when I'm asleep. I have another Heal Beller on this team, but, you know, that's just, I have to switch out into him and take a Fire Flash Boost Fire Attack, if you know what I mean. Which you don't, but you do know what I mean. Anyway, he misses for the third time in a row, and I kill him with a Surf, is all you basically need to know. So don't trust Firefox, and it'll crash, just like that. So I've taken out two ginormous threats to my team through luck. And he brings out this guy, who is yet a third major threat to my team, because he's faster if running Timid than everyone on it. Which is just like, that's gay. So I'm going to protect a nasty plot here, because he's going to expect me to switch. I'm just going to go for Ice Beam, because I want to hurt him. And I do hurt him, but he has leftovers, which is interesting on a sweeper. He's kind of a bulky Raichu, I guess. He's going to go for the T-Bolt, and I was hoping that I'm at full health, and Lapras is, you know, pretty darn awesome in the defensive categories. I've got some HP investment, but no special defense investment. And, long story short, I die. So after 447 HP goes away, I'm sad because he has Raichu at +2. And nothing on my team is faster than it, but I do have Ampharos, who is about as good a special wall as a special attacker is going to be, especially in NU. So he goes for the hidden power, and I'm like, if that's hidden power ground, I've pretty much lost. But it's actually not, and so it only does that much. So I Focus Blast away because the chances of me getting paralysis are less than the chances that Focus Blast does a good amount of damage. And it does, but he lives because he has leftovers. So now he's going to get some more HP back, and I'm going to get some more HP back because I'm a sheep and I just eat things. That's what sheep do. They're pretty chill. So he goes for another hidden power. I think he told me it was ice. Ice baby. Oh, copyrighted music. I'm getting sued. So anyway, I live that, and I go for a signal beam so as to not miss him. And it will kill. So that's awesome. Down goes the Chant Surge, who's a pretty chill guy, but I don't want him, you know, hurting me. Chant Surge's Raichu actually kicks Ash's Pikachu's rear end all over the place, so, you know, so it's Pokemon you gotta watch out for. So he goes into Kitty Cats here, who takes some Stealth Rock damage, and fakes me out, and for yet a third time does not get static, which is just like, are you for reals? And so he actually has leftovers on his Persian, so some kind of bulky Persian, I guess. And I'm gonna go into Pidgeot here now because I only have two guys left, and he's going to put me to sleep with a hypnosis that doesn't miss, which is sad because he's faster, because he has like base 115 speed and isn't paralyzed despite touching my Ampharos 3 times. Well, I'm not paralyzed, but I seem to be struck by you. That's kind of what happened. So he goes for that. I wake up and I flinch. I'm like, are you serious? I so needed to Brave Bird him right there so I could, you know, kill him with Typhlosion and or Pidgeot, because Pidgeot can kill things that have as low as defense as Kitty Cats does. So he's just going to put me back to sleep, and I'm fast asleep. But since I, you know, go after him, this is pretty much like I'm already burned a turn to sleep there. So I get some more leftovers, and he bites me some more because Technician Bite is apparently the best he can do against me. So he's got Hypnosis, Bite, Fake Out, and a third attack that apparently is not very good against Pidgeot. So I'm still asleep. It's 2 turns of sleep there, and he goes for a bite. And I think I barely lived this, yes, and I'm still asleep. So that kind of kills the game for me, because he can just repeat the whole process with my Typhlosion, which, you know, blows hardcore. So he's just going to kill me with yet another bite, and since I'm at 56 HP, that's easily enough to kill. So my last guy is Typhlosion. He's still got 4 guys left. And so he, for unbeknownst reasons, does not opt to put me to sleep. Mostly probably because he's missed 3 hypnosises earlier and doesn't want to, you know, risk that. And so I Focus Blast here, being that it will be doing the most damage of any of my attacks, and Eruption's not worth it because I'm not going to be at full health in all likelihood. So I go for the Focus Blast here, and I'm like, yes, please kill him, because he can still put me back to sleep, but it quite doesn't. And I suppose it should be said doesn't quite, because quite doesn't imply he lives with a lot. But anyway, this is the most important part of the match right here. He switches out into this Dino Killer dude, mistaking me for a dinosaur. But really, I am not choice locked into Focus Blast, as he suspected me to be. And I went for the Flamethrower there, once again, as to not miss, because the Persian most definitely needed to die if I had any chance of winning. And so instead, I straight out pwn his Tropius, which is sad, because Tropius is a pretty cool Pokemon. Remind me to use him now that I'm breeding new guys. Mental note. So anyway, he goes back into Kitty Cats, who cannot fake out me because the Stealth Rocks that I so importantly put up with Sandslash earlier there take him out, and that was very, very crucial there. Now he goes into Canada, who also can't live the Stealth Rocks I put up earlier. And now it's down to 1-on-1, and his last is that Sandslash, which I happen to have critted earlier. So it's a very nice ending there, pretty epic. I saved it over a loss I had, because I've been meaning to bring a loss, because I am not undefeated. And people who never upload losses are either undefeated or just D-bags, and I'm neither. So I'm trying to upload you a loss. Next one will be a loss, except then it won't, because the whole point of uploading a loss is so you won't know what's going to happen every time. So next time it's going to be almost a loss, but then not quite a loss. Or maybe it will be. You'll never know. You have to watch the whole thing and not be spoiled. Anyway, I just finished him off there with a Power-Up Solar Beam just to show him what my item was, because he was still in reeling shock that I wasn't choice locked, because who runs a Typhlosion that isn't choice locked? Anyway, that's my battle. Hopefully get you some more content soon. New team, yada yada. Go to Kulava's Den Zat. Peace out.